In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true.
Rough crowd.
Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
And that is where we start. Welcome back to That Podcast I Like. Do you remember how Barack Obama used to be able to make a crowd laugh? Everyone had a good joke with him.
I do.
You remember how Bill Clinton would put the crowd at ease? Not exactly like that for the president, and in a rough day for him. Welcome back to That Podcast I Like. Thank you for joining us. A lot of things people are talking about today as you go around, and just a few that we think you should know about.
Let's find out. One.
Comedian Bill Cosby was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison yesterday for sexual assault and declared a sexually violent predator. The 81-year-old was led away in handcuffs to begin serving time immediately. And ironically, TMZ says his first meal behind bars was set to include pudding.
Do you think they planned it at the prison?
Oh, I hope so.
I would hope so as well. Now, I did see that Cosby's spokesperson did speak to the crowd after the sentencing happened.
Mr. Cosby's doing great, and Mr. Cosby knows that God is watching over him. He knows that these are lies. They persecuted Jesus, and look what happened. Not saying Mr. Cosby is Jesus, but we know what this country has done to black men for centuries. So Mr. Cosby's doing fine. He's holding up well. And everybody who wants to say anything negative, you're a joke as well. Thank you.
Mr. Cosby, now he had to backtrack there, started comparing him to Jesus.
Wow.
You know the story of Jesus when he goes into the prison and takes 2 Jell-O pudding pops and makes them last throughout the entire prison. Where he takes water and turns it into fermented prune juice. You know the story, right? You know how it goes. Now, the other story that's coming off of Cosby is that we saw a few weeks ago the actor that played Alvin, his son-in-law, right? That he's actually getting another job now with Tyler Perry's company.
Yes.
I guess it's the Haves and Have-Nots, which is a soap opera that is running on Oprah's network.
Okay.
Here's the idea for his character. Why don't they write him in as a guy who's recently divorced from a woman whose father was a prominent OBGYN busted for sexual assault on his patients? All right, so in all seriousness, though, Bill Cosby did lose his honorary degree. Now, the character of Cliff Huxtable is, I think, what a lot of people based him on. That's what they know him on. They don't know Bill Cosby, the person.
No.
But he lost his honorary degree. And speaking of that, there's a teacher who is now out of a job as well.
A teacher in Florida was fired earlier this month for giving kids zeros on homework that they didn't bother to turn in.
I think I had to deal with this every year of my school life. I guess from probably 7th grade on, there was at least one time that I didn't finish a project or something, but I actually did hear from the teacher herself what she wrote to her students after she was let go.
I got fired. I was packing my stuff, and I was not going to see the kids. Bye, kids. Miss Tirado loves you and wishes you the best in life. I have been fired for refusing to give you a 50% for not handing anything in. Heart, Miss Tirado. If there's nothing to grade, how can I give somebody a 50? I'm arguing the fact that you don't get something for nothing. I want the policy changed, and it's not just here.
I think she is absolutely right. She is 100% dead on with this. I had to dig myself out of those holes, and somehow I did it. Somehow I was able to graduate out of high school. But there were definitely times that I was assigned a 0 on assignments because I never did the work.
It makes sense.
And speaking of educators in trouble.
Southeast Missouri State University President Dr. Carlos Vargas had to apologize for drinking from a beer bong while tailgating last Saturday before the football game.
Dr. V, you're right! That's my university!
See, and there he says, that's my university, you rock. Now, look, I understand the culture that we're living in now, but you're also talking about an educator now who probably went to school, I would imagine, in the early 80s, right? That was a time when Animal House was looked at as a documentary on how college life was meant to be lived. Those guys, and as far as I know now, with that video being public, he's also qualified to run for Supreme Court. That is absolutely true.
Wow.
And on that note, we are going to get out of here. Oh, I see it sitting over there already on the menu. For our other podcast later today, you can join us for My Daily Beer. What is on the menu for later today?
We are going to enjoy a brew from El Dorado, Kansas, Walnut River Brewing Company's Coffee Porter.
No, maybe we can get a one of the...
What is going on over there?
Those are your sound effects. That's not an actual fort. Come on now. We never fake that on the other podcast, though. But I was going to say, maybe we can get a university president to join us, to come over and maybe shotgun a beer with us.
Maybe.
It's in a can. Just poke a hole in the side of it. Shotgun it. I don't know. All right. Make sure you check it out. My Daily Beer. Be sure to subscribe here. And we'll do it all again tomorrow. You know we love you.
In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.